What's up, A to Z Sports Live, 11:30 a.m. Central Time, Tuesday, December 6th. John Robinson officially fired as Titans general manager. I don't think anybody was expecting this at this point. Austin Stanley and Sam Phelan live here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch to give you guys this live reaction. Again, not a lot of information that we know as of this point. I do have a press release from the Tennessee Titans and Robbie Boren that I will read here momentarily, and a lot of you guys will be flying in here. And again, we're going to talk a lot about what just happened with the Titans firing GM John Robinson midway through this season. John Robinson was hired before the 2016 season, and the Titans have been competitive, have done a great job ever since he was brought on board. And this is a big deal here for sure with the Titans firing GM John Robinson. So Sam, welcome in. A lot of things that we don't really know yet, but I think a lot of people were caught off guard here. So Sam, how's it going?
It's going. I mean, wow. What a stunner this morning. Before, just off the bat here, Austin, I think we're having issues with Facebook again, like we were this morning. So go to YouTube, get involved on YouTube and join us. Make sure that you don't put things in Facebook's hands here this morning. But what an absolute stunner. Just yesterday, Austin, you were saying John Robinson's not going anywhere for a very long time, so they're going to have to find another option. And Amy Adams Strunk from the top rope on a Tuesday making a statement. She means business. The Titans mean business. Her expectations for this organization are higher than the one that has been met by John Robinson this season. And a man that she has declared her love for in the past and all that she has meant to this organization and to her personally. She's not afraid to pull the trigger. John Robinson is out. We have the statement, but yeah, a shock this morning for Titans fans. Never in a million years did I think John Robinson would be out before Todd Downing, but here we are.
So ain't that the truth? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I do believe we have Facebook back live now. Who knows how long it will last? So if you are watching on Facebook having some issues this morning with live video, so I suggest go ahead and make sure that you do switch over to YouTube as John Robinson fired by the Tennessee Titans officially live. Austin Stanley and Sam Phelan here across Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch for the time being. So I'm going to go ahead and read the statement that we all got from Robbie Boren about 15 minutes ago in our email inboxes. Titans part ways with general manager John Robinson. Tennessee Titans controlling owner Amy Adams Strunk informed John Robinson today that he has been relieved of his duties as general manager. Vice president of player personnel Ryan Cowden, who has been with the Titans for 7 years, will lead player personnel for the remainder of the season. Preliminary work for a new GM will begin shortly, and a comprehensive search will begin once the season is complete. Here's a statement from Amy Adams Strunk, quote, "Since becoming the controlling owner in 2015, my goal has been to raise the standard for what is expected in all facets of our organization. I believe we have made significant progress both on and off the field through investments in leadership, personnel, and new ideas. This progress includes the core of our business, the football team itself, which is regularly evaluated by both results, wins and losses, and team construction roster building. I am proud of what we have accomplished in my 8 seasons of ownership, but I believe there is more to be done and a higher aspiration to be met. I want to thank John for his dedicated work to this organization on an upward trajectory, and I wish him and his family the best." That is the full statement and quote from Amy Adams Strunk, Titans controlling owner. Sam, what's your initial reaction to hearing Amy right there after she dropped off the top rope this morning on GM John Robinson?
Yeah, I mean, it is what I said. It is a loud statement of we mean business. Nobody is safe. You and I were scheduled, Austin, to talk tomorrow morning about John Robinson, about the roster construction, about the shortcomings and failures that he has had. And John Robinson has had some successes in his tenure of Titans GM. He has overall been fairly successful and led the team to a lot of success. But as the Titans have gotten into their competitive window last season, this season, looking to take that next step to the Super Bowl, John Robinson took a lot of gambles this past offseason. I've been adamant about that all year long. And week by week, we keep proving that those gambles are not paying off. And Amy Adams Strunk is, making consequences for those actions. She believes that the roster construction and that the Titans as an organization can go to the next level. Really, really shocking news. But Miss Amy making she's on a mission right now. I'm a little rattled by this.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are still did not think we would be talking about this today.
For sure, because John Robinson has done nothing but really good things. And I do think I want to go backwards a little bit before we react more and more about what has happened today as the Titans fired GM John Robinson about 15 to 20 minutes ago. The story was first broken by Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network. Nobody was expecting this. But again, John Robinson came in and took this job on the heels of the Titans going 5-27 in back-to-back seasons. And ever since John Robinson took over, he helped flip the culture with then coach Mike Mularkey, brought in a lot of players that care, players that had a different type of mindset and held themselves to a higher standard than what this organization was dealing with through the early part of the 2010s decade. Now, John Robinson and Sam, me and Zach have had so many conversations about this, and I talked to Zach briefly as he is in Dallas doing some work for our Dallas market. But Zach and I've said this for the longest time, is that an easier job for an NFL GM is to take an NFL franchise from drafting consecutively in the top 5 to then drafting in the top back teens, drafting in the playoffs. But then how do you get to that next step? How do you get to that next level? It's easier to go from 3-14 or 3-13 to 9-7 to 10-7. It's much harder to go from that 11-5, 12-5, where the Titans were the last 2 years, up to legitimate Super Bowl contenders. And unfortunately, John Robinson was not able to do that. I don't think there's a lot of general managers that are able to do that, but John Robinson came up short. And I think a comment from Amy Adams Strunk's statement is very pointing, and it stands out to me. So here's what she said again, her statement. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I get to it specifically. I am proud of what we have accomplished in my 8 seasons of ownership, but I believe there is more to be done and higher aspirations to be met. So this is, and if you're a Titans fan, it is a weird day because John Robinson's done so many good things for you. John Robinson cares about this organization. He grew up as a Tennessean. This matters to him. So it is tough to see John Robinson go, but my God, if you're a Titans fan, you have to be extremely excited about what your owner is willing to do to go battle for you for the expectations and the standard she has for the football team that you all care about. I think this says a ton about Amy Adams Strunk.
Yep.
I think now she's got to go hire the right person, but it takes a lot of you-know-what to make this move today as the Titans are 7-5 and, they're going to win the division.
Yeah, no, I think that is the takeaway for me. It is a little weird because of everything good John Robinson has done, but there's no kidding around that this is not good enough. And what has happened with the Titans in 2022 is not good enough. Amy Adams Strunk has given the money for the most part, like the salary cap. They're right up against the salary cap. They're spending the money. John Robinson has allocated the resources given to him poorly. He has missed on too many free agent signings, missed on too many draft picks that he thought would be impact players, and he has taken what could have been a great window into a mediocre window. And I love it out of Amy Adams Strunk, regardless of how you feel about John Robinson or whether or not he can right this ship. It is, I agree with you, Austin, exciting and a good thing that there is an owner of the Tennessee Titans that is not satisfied with mediocrity. Amy Adams Strunk is a new stadium coming in. She is locked into Tennessee for the long haul, and she has made it her mission. She doesn't want a 3-14 team playing in that new stadium if they lose Mike Vrabel and have to go down this big rebuilding path. she's committed to being one of the top tier organizations in the NFL. And this is a big, you-know-what move, as you said, to ensure that, or do what she feels like needs to be done to send a message and get to that next level. That's exciting. I mean, all you can ask for from your owner is to care about being great, not be satisfied with anything less. This move certainly says that Amy Adams Strunk values greatness.
All right. So, this is an interesting point because Sam and I were getting ready for lunch. Actually, Sam and I were about to go have lunch together. Then we're going to hang out with Buck at the at the toy field that the Zone is doing. But we had to.
Anybody going to that anymore?
I have toys. That's the thing. I literally walked out of Target with the 2 toys that I got to donate to the Zone's toy field, and then got this call, and we hustled back here to put this together. So there's a lot of things that we are learning on the fly. I do want to read this because Zach Reagan, one of our great writers at A2ZSports.com, is helping feed me some information here via text. Tom Pelissero says the full expectation is the Titans will move forward with Mike Vrabel as the head coach and go look to hire a new general manager, kind of based off of what Amy Adams Strunk said in her quote in the press release. Reagan also texted me about Tom Pelissero from the NFL Network. Says Pelissero says the timing is to get the jump on the search, and also because meetings with college players would be beginning this month, and there was no need to have John Robinson doing those meetings if they already decided he wasn't going to be back. So I think that's a very important aspect to the timing, because the GM's job is to be able to draft good players coming out of college, and knowing and getting a jump start on that. I think that makes a lot of sense for me, especially the timing of what college football means is yesterday, as many of you college football fans know, the transfer portal was opened, and also with the bowl game announcements in college football, as were the bowl game season opt-outs are open. So now college football players who are focusing on the draft, they are making that known, and NFL teams will start to do their work and their due diligence on those college draft class. And John Robinson, paying him to continue to do the work that he wasn't going to be able to finish, that is something that is very interesting as well. So who knows how long Amy Adams Strunk has felt this way, but she pulled the trigger today on December 6th.
I mean, it's the right move overall. Like, I think the vision is there. I started to worry a little bit. I never told you this or anybody this, but there was this little thing in the back of my mind over the last couple of weeks where I thought to myself, the Titans are going to chase Mike Vrabel out of Tennessee if they keep doing what they're doing, which is not giving him the horses to compete, not giving him the horses to compete at the level that he wants to. I still believe Mike Vrabel is one of maybe the best coach in the National Football League. There are not many guys I would take over him to coach my team starting from scratch. What he does is build more with less. He has done that this season, but there was this feeling that I had where it's like, man, it must not be fun to coach a team that has 3 wide receivers on the roster. 2 of them are Nick Westbrook-Akine and CJ Board, with Dennis Daly as your left tackle, and not a whole lot you can do about any of it. But that's the reality Mike Vrabel was living in. So to move on from John Robinson is a commitment to Mike Vrabel as much as it is an indictment on John Robinson by Amy Adams Strunk to say, I don't care who the general manager is. We will find a guy. You are the Tennessee Titans, which I do think is true. Mike Vrabel is your identity. Mike Vrabel is your present and your future. And whoever the GM is, hopefully does a better job of giving him the players he needs to be great with this organization and keep him here for a very long time.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that's a great comment by you on that. And I think, Mike Vrabel and John Robinson, it felt like, have been, kind of hand in hand, step by step along this way. They seem like they have the same type of football philosophy, yet, something happened and it blew it up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speculate what went on behind closed doors in the offseason. Whether or not, I mean, Mike Vrabel said to the cameras he was on the same page with John, lockstep with the A.J. Brown trade. Whether or not that's true, I mean, his comments from weeks prior to the trade where he said A.J.'s not being traded as long as I'm the head coach might contradict that a little bit. there's a lot that has gone on over the past year, even over the last few weeks, where it has felt like, I mean, 2 weeks ago at 7-3 following that Green Bay game, it seemed like an absolute Hail Mary if you would have told me John Robinson would be fired 2 weeks from now. But that's where we're at. And yeah, I hard to say what's going on behind closed doors, but you do get the feeling that there might be a little bit of a growing frustration from Mike Vrabel that he's coaching a team that he does not feel is genuinely equipped to win a Super Bowl, which is ultimately his goal, or he wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and so I do think it's interesting because, Sam, we played a video from Mike Vrabel this morning about the identity of the team, and I think it's interesting. It's, Vrabel was like, I don't know what we can do and what we can change with what we have, and I think I also like there's a lot of layers to this conversation. Like, people are asking now, is Todd Downing next? I see somebody on YouTube says, can Mike Vrabel be named the GM? So just to set a couple things straight, Mike Vrabel is not going to be the acting GM. Ryan Cowden, who has been the vice president of player personnel, basically the assistant or vice general manager, however you want to label it, will be the interim general manager for the Titans as of right now. But I agree with you wholeheartedly, Sam, is that this is a commitment to Mike Vrabel for the long haul, and that John Robinson hit his ceiling and he wasn't good enough to get over the hump of the Super Bowl contention with this group of players. And he made too many mistakes high in the draft and too many mistakes when it came to free agency contracts to be able to survive this season. And it sucks because as a human being, John Robinson's a good guy.
Yeah.
I liked dealing with John Robinson. John Robinson was super great with A to Z Sports. Zach and I created A to Z Sports because I'll tell you this. Zach and I were on radio the first half year that John Robinson was named the GM of the Titans. When we went out on our own after that radio station thought we weren't good enough, now we're kicking their ass up and down the field every day. But when we went out on our own to create our own platform, we continue to get credentialed by the Titans because the Titans media relations are great people. They're easy to work with. But also John Robinson was good to us. And John Robinson was a frequent viewer of the show in the shadows throughout the years. And so I do feel for John Robinson because I also know how much he cared about the franchise and about the fan base and being a part of the community. So I do think we do need to humanize a little bit in the middle of all this turmoil and all this breaking news situation with John Robinson being out. But the fact is, he was not able to get enough results and he hit his ceiling, and the mistakes made in the draft and in free agency have hurt this team. And now he is elsewhere and will be looking for another job.
Yeah. And I want to clarify too, Austin, something I said earlier. This is more than a failure on AJ Brown. Like I think from the 1,000 feet up, like that's kind of the perspective for some people maybe is like, well, he traded AJ Brown. AJ Brown tore up the Titans. Now he's getting fired. That is what it is. This is a continued issue that he has had through the draft, through the free agency contracts, as you mentioned, where a lot of these picks at offensive line, at defensive back, they have not worked out. And when you continually miss at the top of the draft, it becomes very, very hard to elevate your roster to the next level. He's given out money to players that haven't been able to stay on the field and money to players that haven't played up to the contract he has given them. It is a series of mistakes. He's done some things very well. He's been good drafting late in drafts, funny enough, finding a few hidden gems. They've done that pretty well, but overall, yeah, not going to the next level. You feel for John Robinson, but I do think it's the move that ultimately needed to be done if the Titans want to take this thing next level. I also get the sense, Austin, typically when you hire or fire and hire a general manager, these GMs want to come in and kind of get their hands clean. They like to do a little bit of a mini rebuild, retool to build a roster up in their image. I don't necessarily get the sense that that's what's happening. If Amy Adams Strunk really is committed to going to the next level, to being a Super Bowl contender, and is committing herself and this organization to Mike Vrabel, I mean, this is might be more of a retool than a rebuild, and a general manager trying to figure out how they can restructure things to make it a Super Bowl roster as quickly as possible.
Yeah, A to Z Sports here live on this Tuesday midday as we are reacting to the firing of Titans general manager John Robinson, who came to the team in first 2016 was his first season as Titans GM. I do think it's interesting as well, Sam, as I was doing some research here. We remember just this past February 8th is when the Tennessee Titans gave both John Robinson and Mike Vrabel contract extensions. So we don't know exactly how long that those two deals were, but both Robinson and Vrabel previously were under their initial contracts together were through the end of this current football season. But after last year winning the division in back-to-back years, being the number one seed in the AFC, Amy Adams Strunk and the Titans gave the two guys their contract extensions to match. And so there is with this Amy Adams Strunk eating a significant portion of money by cutting and firing John Robinson after just extending him. So that's money out of her pocket that she's probably gonna have to pay some type of pretty large buyout.
Again, a good sign though. Like I think that's ultimately all you can ask from an owner in sports. It's easy to sit at home, kind of play armchair quarterback with it and be like, oh, well, spend the money when it's not your money. But all you really want out of your ownership group is to be committed to this. And Amy Adams Strunk showing that the expense of John Robinson, out of her pocket, and the money, the relationship she has built with John Robinson, and all of the good things that he has brought to the Titans organization over the years are not enough to prevent her from doing what she feel like needs to be done. And I'm not sure that can be said of a lot of owners in this league or a lot of owners in professional sports to go ahead, make that move, be willing to eat the money necessary to do what it takes to help the team win. Yeah, that's what I got on that.
All right, A to Z Sports Live here. Let's go ahead and ask everybody a question because you guys have been flying in the comment section, and because this is a off the cuff type of show, or maybe Sam, we're gonna have to go have a lunch and just to decompress after this anyway. Here, like we had originally planned, because John Robinson fired. I think it was pretty shocking. I don't think anybody really expected this to happen today and threw everybody off. So we are doing a live reaction of Titans firing general manager John Robinson. So let's go ahead and get you guys involved because there's a ton of you right here in the Facebook and also YouTube chat. Facebook's been kind of finicky today. So if Facebook does drop off, flip over to our YouTube channel because the YouTube spot is always consistent. And I want to ask this question to you guys. What's one word to describe your emotion when you saw this move happen? What is one word to describe your emotion when you saw this move happen and the Titans firing GM John Robinson? I will send Sam to the chat, but while we're at it, make sure if you are watching us today, you either both, it doesn't matter where you're watching. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, like the show, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button for us. We really appreciate that. That helps out the algorithm. It helps out our growth, and it helps you guys be a part of this more and grow this community. So hit that thumbs up button. If you're watching on your phone on YouTube, you might have to exit out of that live chat to be able to hit that thumbs up button. Then you can pop that live chat back up. If you're on Facebook, do that as well. I can see them flying in, the likes as well. Whatever that emotion you want to use on Facebook, you can do it. But we appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. We do this a lot, going live probably 15 times a week on these channels. So Sam, I'll send you to the comment section if you can keep up with the one word so far in the chat.
I'm going to try my best. We got Chad. His one word is just Amy. We got Darren is expected. Adam is shocked. Anthony said hallelujah. A lot of shock. Relieved from Andre. Mark says that's not a one word. Corey's surprised. We got a relieved from Tyler Stone. This is two words out of Rock saying Arthur Juan. Adam Cruz is confusion. Kyle is ecstatic. Jabu says flabbergasted. Yannick is disbelief. Blake Sanders, accountability. Jeremiah says happy. Mark Jones says mixed. Cole Rust is thankful. Carlos Cantu. This was probably my genuine one, Austin. Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's what you called me. I'm on my way to go to lunch with you. I just said, what? Wow. That was my first reaction. Let's see. We got a lot of people saying they were shocked. Casey Coach Nate going for queasy. I see a conflicted. I see disbelief. I see whelp in all caps, eager, ecstatic, overjoyed. A lot of emotions. I am going to go ahead and give mine. I like what was said earlier. Accountability. Accountability is the one word that I think now jumps to brain for me. Yes, shock. I was very surprised. I did not expect to see this in season. I've seen a lot of people saying, how did you not see this coming? Making this move in season, for one, was very shocking. And two, given the relationship Amy Adams-Strunk has with John Robinson, I'm not sure anybody saw coming anytime soon. Just yesterday, Austin was saying he didn't think this was going to happen for a while, and you were going to have to find a way around it. So as bad as the roster construction was, as much as we criticized John Robinson this season and the team this season, I'm not sure I saw a general manager firing for a team that is 7-5 in first place, about to win the division for the third straight year, to go ahead and move on from the GM. But I like accountability because that's what this is. And it's a perfect example of it, of nobody is safe. We have a job to do as a business, as an organization. We owe it to ourselves and to our players and to our fans to put our best foot forward and try and win a Super Bowl and be a legitimate contender and threat perennially in the National Football League. John Robinson's job is to get Mike Vrabel the horses. I have been saying this week, Philly exposed that you do not have the horses, and it's kind of been this looming theme all season that is finally coming to fruition. And I like Amy Adams-Strunk holding him accountable for not doing his job. Now, I'm sure that there's going to be comments saying, well, then why isn't Todd Downing fired and stuff? I mean, that there's a point there, right? And I would agree with those commenters. I think if you are doing this accountability sort of idea and you're firing John Robinson, why is Todd Downing still employed as your offensive coordinator?
So can I take that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead and take. That's the word for me, though.
Bobby, because Bobby on Facebook, it's a great question. Why now and why mid-season?
Yeah,
right. Because the Titans are unable, and Mike Vrabel has told us in press conferences that they don't do things like change play callers in season. Well, Amy Adams-Strunk just changed general managers and fired hers in season. So I did want to read this text to answer the question that Bobby asked. And again, Sam and I are live. A lot of this new information flying in our face every second. But Zach Reagan, one of our great writers at A2ZSports.com, texted a couple of these notes from Tom Pelissero, saying that Pelissero said the timing is to get a jump on the GM search, and also because meetings with college players would begin this month, and there was no need to have John Robinson doing those type of college meetings if they already decided that he wasn't going to be back with the Titans. So it's all about the future, right? So I think there's a key separation. The reason why Todd Downing still has a job and John Robinson doesn't is because John Robinson's job for the 2022 season is basically over, right? His job is the future. Todd Downing's job is the current. Todd Downing has 5 more games to get this thing figured out before the Titans most likely host a playoff game. Do I think Todd Downing needs to get the next 5 games? Sam, I said Monday after the loss of the Eagles, I think the Titans should use the next 5 games to see what they got in a play caller like Tim Kelly, because I don't think Todd Downing needs to be back next season. And maybe Amy Adams-Strunk has that under her belt as well.
I don't think he will be.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he will be. It is what you come down to. Like, changing a play caller disrupts what happens on the field. And whether it's for 1 week or for like middle of the season, end of the season, whatever, the play caller has a direct impact to what's on the field. There's not much John Robinson's going to do for the rest of this year. He's just going to cycle around and sign more back end guys off couches to the back end of the 53-man roster. Ryan Cowden has been in those meetings. He's perfectly capable of doing that and taking over those responsibilities and moving guys on and off from IR as he sees fit for the rest of this season. So why not go ahead and do something is coming in the offseason now and get a jump on those college meetings and maybe try and get ahead of the GM search, especially if you're hiring somebody who's not currently with an organization. You can start having those conversations whenever you need to. And I don't think Todd Downing is back next season. I think that the writing is kind of on the wall for that, and that he will be held accountable for the way that this season has played out for the Titans offense. But for right now, I think Mike Vrabel is a little bit opposed to switching play callers midseason because of how it can affect the players and the play on the field. That's a little bit of a drastic change. I also saw a comment earlier that was a question, Austin. I want to hear your take on it, see if you agree with me. Basically said, did Amy Adams Strunk consult Mike Vrabel about this before making the move? What do you think?
Based off of the tweet I saw from Aaron Wilson, who covers the Houston Texans and the NFL. Let me pull that tweet up again real quick. But based off of the tweet from Aaron Wilson, which is, as I try to reload the tweet, here's Aaron Wilson, tweeted this 25 minutes ago. Mike Vrabel expected to have significant power after Titans' dismissal of GM John Robinson, according to league sources. So that tells me, yes, Mike Vrabel had something to do with this.
Yeah, I mean, it is what I go back to what I said earlier. As much of an indictment as this is on the job John Robinson has done, I think this is a commitment to Mike Vrabel to be here for the long haul, to, if he gets paid, he gets a big salary bump, whatever it is. This is Amy Adams Strunk identifying Mike Vrabel as the future of the Titans, giving him power, hopefully finding a general manager that is more aligned with what Mike Vrabel wants to do with this team and where he sees this roster building from here on out. And really picking the head coach who has done more with less over the general manager that got you to contention, but never really got you to being legitimate contenders and taking the next level. So I would agree with you. That was what I was going to say, is I feel like this move from Amy Adams Strunk had to be in lockstep with Mike Vrabel and their vision for the future of the franchise together.
Yeah, and so, I'm trying to do as much. By the way, if you're watching here on Facebook or YouTube, appreciate you guys watching. Give us a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, but give us and hit that thumbs up button. A to Z Sports, Austin Stanley, and our Titans reporter, Sam Phelan. By the way, Sam, welcome to the beat. This is your first year covering the Titans. You're about to have a big old general manager search coming up in the offseason. So this is important, but I do think what goes with the Mike Vrabel significant power situation is that the Titans do not, and I don't think they really will, allow Mike Vrabel to get away from them, because they decided, and a lot of times decisions like this happen between quarterback and head coach in the NFL. And most of the time, quarterbacks beat out head coach for job stability. But in this situation, the head coach is beating out the GM when it comes to job stability. And the Titans do not want to give Mike Vrabel any thoughts about something we talked about last week, which is Ohio State coming to call to see if Mike Vrabel wants to get paid triple his current salary and go coach Ohio State, his alma mater. That's now, I think there is a different level of commitment, and the significant power term that Aaron Wilson used in his tweet shows that as well. I do not think they will make Mike Vrabel the GM. I do believe they will go out and hire an actual general manager. And and Zach Reagan, again, has just texted me some more information from Tom Pelissero as we're doing our best to cover this on live video as quickly as possible. But Pelissero mentioned this from the NFL Network, that now the Titans have cut John Robinson. They're hiring a new GM. What does that mean about the future of the quarterbacks that John Robinson acquired? The future of Ryan Tannehill, and also the future of Malik Willis. because a new GM is going to come in. And if Ryan Tannehill has a big cap hit that the Titans can save significant amount of money, but they still have to pay $18 million of dead cap space if they cut Tannehill. And what does this new GM think about Malik Willis? Nobody is safe. I don't think Derrick Henry's safe. I think Jeffrey Simmons might be the only person who is safe when it comes to their long-term future as a player for the Tennessee Titans.
I don't know if that's a guarantee. I mean,
the new GM will have to immediately come in and make sure Jeffrey Simmons doesn't get out of the building.
Yeah. As far as the quarterbacks go, it is important to remember these quarterbacks were John Robinson products, but they were also Mike Vrabel selections. Like Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis were handpicked by Mike Vrabel to come in and run what he thought was going to be a successful offensive system and scheme to keep them as one of the top teams in the league. So if you're bringing in a general manager, I'd have to imagine Mike Vrabel is, oddly enough, part of the interview process. Like, it is kind of a reversal of roles, as you said, Austin, to have the head coach out-survive the GM and have the head coach picking the GM or helping pick the GM based on his vision rather than the other way around. But that is how much Amy Adams-Strunk is committed to Mike Vrabel. And I think if he's picking somebody that is united with him and where they see this team going, they probably have a pretty similar view on Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis as quarterbacks in the league. That's not to say a change won't come. I just think if there is one, it won't be because the new general manager overrides Vrabel and wants to get his own guy, all this stuff. It'll be more of a unanimous decision to go in a different direction.
Yeah. A to Z Sports again here live. Appreciate it. This might be one of our bigger audiences we've had, specifically on YouTube alone. But thank you guys for watching here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. A to Z Sports, make sure you subscribe. Sam and I will be live tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. So I do want to make sure that we continue to save some of these topics for whenever we want to go live and do our regularly planned show tomorrow morning, because I do think I want to save the AJ Brown aspect of this conversation for tomorrow, because I want to go put together a domino effect that led to John Robinson getting fired. And that is what I want to talk about tomorrow morning on the show. But, we're still here. And Sam, I have yet to answer the one word question. We always ask, what's one word to describe how you feel about something? One word to describe what I think about this is statement. And I said it near the beginning of this live stream reaction to the firing of John Robinson, but this statement by Amy Adams-Strunk should make you feel so confident in your owner if you're a Titans fan. So many times fans want their players to care as much as they do, and the players don't. But the fans want their teams to be held accountable, and the people that are responsible for putting out the product for the team that they invest their money in and all of that, they want to make sure that they know and can trust the decision makers within their favorite team. And I think as Titans fans, you guys can look at Amy Adams-Strunk and say, she's not messing around. Amy Adams-Strunk is all the way in. She's all the way in with building this new stadium. She's all the way in with making sure that her football team can raise the standard to get to where they want to go. That's not just hosting a Super Bowl in this new stadium, that is playing in a Super Bowl for her. And John Robinson did a really great job. And I think maybe as our way on the way out of this, I think you have to give John Robinson a lot of credit, because John Robinson created the standards that allowed Amy Adams-Strunk to fire him. John Robinson put this team together from going 2-14, 3-13 to 9-7 at the absolute worst, and now put himself in a spot that he just could not break through that next level. And so I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but that's something that I did wanted to say as Amy made the decision she felt she had to do. And John Robinson, I'm sure, made this really tough on her because she hired John Robinson.
Yeah, like there is a level of of some balance here where I don't think John Robinson's tenure as GM should be looked down upon negatively or like a failure. Like he brought so much to the Titans organization that has not been here really ever as consistently as it is. And I agree with you. Like the standard, he's the one that hired Mike Vrabel. Like the standard that you have built for Titans football was in large part built by John Robinson. The fact that he's not living up to the standard of greatness Amy Adams Strunk wants to get to is the reason he's being fired, but it shouldn't affect the way that Titans fans appreciate what John Robinson brought to this city, to this fan base, and to this organization. I'm sure it was, like you said, a very, very hard decision for Amy Adams Strunk to part with somebody that means that much to this organization and means that much to her personally, which again speaks to how powerful this statement is of how serious she is about going to the next level.
Yeah, and I want to add more because Zach Reagan's continuing to feed me some extra information as this develops because, I think something that Zach Bingham and I talked about when we were on the phone so we could set this up is that, did something happen? Like, did something happen over the last few days that led to this? And apparently Mike Garafolo suggested on NFL Network that something else was going on that caused this. But then Tom Pelissero quickly interjected and said, there is nothing unknown that happened. This is purely that the Titans did not like the direction they were headed under John Robinson, in case someone comments about that. So nothing happened that we don't already know. That there is a domino effect that ended with A.J. Brown's 2 touchdowns and 119 yards over guys that John Robinson had on this team. That was the last straw, right? We know that.
It's amplified. Like
yes.
it was not because of A.J. Brown. It was a domino effect, like you said. But maybe it was the straw that broke the camel's back because, like I said, you had 3 wide receivers active with C.J. Board, Nick Westbrook-Akine on the field trying to hang with the Philadelphia Eagles that just got your guy, A.J. Brown, who's jumping over your entire defense, scoring touchdowns. And that was basically as amplified as it could have been on the Titans roster construction of saying, where in the world did we go wrong? This team is not on the level of other teams in the NFL that are great. And so, no, it was not because of A.J. Brown, but it certainly did amplify the ongoing and lingering issues that have been caused through draft picks that have not worked out at the top of the draft consistently, bad free agent signings, failure to extend great players, a whole lot of series of unfortunate events that has John Robinson now without a job.
Absolutely. So, guys, we appreciate this awesome conversation under a different type of circumstance. I don't think really anybody around Titans media was expecting this day to happen right now on December 6th, but we really do appreciate everybody for watching. If you caught us through whatever time you did, once we end this, it'll go back and you can start live from the beginning. But thank you guys. We'll have a big show tonight. Buck Rising will be live A to Z Sports Primetime on these same channels at 8:00 p.m. Central Time tonight. Again, like the show before you go and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I did want to see this. Derek says, is the season over? No. That's the crazy. Again, last thing before we go, official last thing, like actual the last thing, that John Robinson is fired so the Titans can start working on the future. The Tennessee Titans are 7-5 and have a big time lead over their other divisional opponents, and will host a playoff game. So no, the season's not over. Can they get a jolt of something from this? I don't know, but they got a game coming up against the Jags that they have to win on Sunday. And so anyway, that's the last part. But anyway, so Buck live tonight, 8 p.m. Central. Sam and I will be live again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. So we'll see you guys there. Enjoy the rest of your day. By the way, stay packed with our social media, A to Z Sports.com, I know our writing team, including Sam, will be jumping on this from a bunch of different angles, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning and Buckle See tonight. Appreciate it as always. Talk to you soon.